Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump is right, and it's a very interesting tweet. They could have charged Comey with theft of government documents, 641 of the criminal code, because the IG found these were not his personal documents. They were government documents, Greg Jarrett. So Greg Jarrett is saying this, but Trump is retweeting this. Comey's claim that these were just his personal recollections would not pass the laugh test, and Inspector General knocked that down. So Byron York of the Washington Examiner, Lou Dobbs, CC'd. Now, the interesting thing here is Comey is a giant spotlight has been placed upon Comey. We know that he committed criminal acts. He's not being charged, very likely because Andrew McCabe is going to be charged imminently. Andrew McCabe leaked documents, lied under oath numerous times for self-serving purposes with intent and with the motive to hide his tracks, with the motivation to hide his tracks, because he should have recused himself from the Clinton email investigation. He did not. He didn't because his wife received hundreds of thousands of dollars, close to $1 million actually, from Terry McAuliffe and Democratic super PACs in Virginia. So the interesting thing here is that they're not charging Comey. Now, Comey still, and I explained this in my last segment, Comey still has a lot of issues with the FISA application on Carter Page. James Comey is not out of the woods, not out of trouble by a long shot. Andrew McCabe is going to be indicted eventually. It'll be next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It'll be next week or the week after. If you've seen Biden, the Titanic and Hindenburg and politically everything horrible, his campaign is a non-campaign. He doesn't even want to be president. It's not that he's a gaffe machine. He doesn't want to be president, and his mind and soul and body, and he's not into it. Okay, what's her name? Elizabeth Warren has more skeletons than most of the people on that debate stage. Joe Biden is a skeleton. Elizabeth Warren hasn't really, you talk about the word vetted. They haven't gone after her. You remember when Kamala Harris was like, really, surging, and then in 2 seconds, Tulsi Gabbard obliterated her campaign. The same thing, the second they go after Warren, it's game over, because she not only failed a DNA test, but she utilized deception. At one point, she was like the first woman of color, was it at Harvard? Or she tried to market herself in that manner long ago, which is hilarious. Clinton is running again. When she runs, all of this will come into clear focus. And a further spotlight will be placed upon Strzok, Clapper, Brennan, all of them. But these were not, okay, Comey likes to say, technically they were memos that he probably made up. And one reason they didn't indict him is that they would have to go over the memos. They'd have to relitigate, he told me to say, he told me to be, he told me to be loyal, and then they might actually try to get, the defense might want to get Trump on the witness stand just regarding the documents that he made up and fabricated. These Comey memos are pretty much the same thing as the Steele dossier. They're complete, utter fabrications. But Comey also, William Barr did the right thing initially. Look, you might say, H.A., you're out of your mind, you're nuts. He didn't do the right thing. He should have, if the defense attorneys got a judge to say, okay, well, you know what, President Trump has to be part of this. He has to answer questions on the validity or the truthfulness or the whether or not certain things took place in the memos. William Barr probably thought of that and said, you know what? Comey was pretty smart on this one. So the fact that he made things up or embellished real situations kind of protected him. He still faces the FISA issue. He still faces the issue that I talk about in my Federalist article, 18 U.S. Code 371. Okay? When you conspire to defraud against the United States government, that is the statute. That's the collusion statute they tried to use against Trump. So it didn't, look, they tried to use that against Trump, saying, well, there's no collusion, but you know what? He tried to defraud the United States government. He used deception and lied to people. Trump did not. Trump did not. There was no collusion. There was no obstruction. The Steele dossier was complete and utter nonsense. They politicized, seriously politicized, intelligence agencies to utilize these intelligence agencies as an extension of the Democratic Party. But let's just hear. The report noted that Comey had considered 5 of the memos about the discussion with Trump to be his personal documents, created 3 of the memos on his personal laptop computers, and kept signed originals. I love this. When was the last time you signed your own diary entry? I'm going to sign this and make it official. Kept signed originals of 4 of the memos in his personal safe at home while he was serving as FBI director. He kept those copies even after being fired and did not report the fact to the FBI. Okay, so a month after his termination, Comey provided copies of the 4 of his memos to Muller, the report said. Okay, first of all, one of the memos contained 6 words that the FBI determined in June 2017 to be classified at the confidential level, the report said, while 2 other memos contained information determined to be for official use only. So he kept confidential, classified, so it's confidential, secret, and top secret. So he kept a confidential memo in his safe outside of the FBI when he was no longer an FBI, a government employee. They could have charged him for that, actually. So Comey had several other lawful... Okay, so this is the thing. They're not going after him for a specific reason. It's not only corruption. It's not only William Barr not doing the right thing. There's got to be some other issue, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not just saying this because I don't want to believe that William Barr is just like Sessions, just like everyone else. If he doesn't indict McCabe, that'll be an existential issue with the country. You cannot have unelected officials running rampant, committing crimes left and right, and just, lying at will and then charging and prosecuting everyone else for doing the same, not the same thing, for doing far less. They set up and framed Michael Flynn. He didn't even lie. They set up and framed Papadopoulos, and he just didn't remember the time he sent an email. So this is interesting. He put the information in his personal safe. He shouldn't have done that. But President Trump is right. I mean, they could have charged Comey with the theft of government documents, 641 of the Criminal Code, because the IG found they were not his personal documents. Comey's claim that they was just his own personal recollections would not pass. Which one is it? If they were his personal recollections, why did they start a special counsel? Why would anyone believe what Comey said? That's what I don't like. See, this is the thing. So much weight is placed upon the gossip and hearsay and the recollections of a very corrupt FBI director. And I'm telling you, this is all a function. This is all a repercussion of the DNC emails. The DNC emails was the worst thing to ever happen to the Democratic Party. And also to the intelligence community, because they had to cover for the Democratic Party and then further tank their reputation. People in the United States, at least 63 million, the 63 million who voted for Trump, at least, and even the Democrats who defend all of this nonsense, know that Comey lied. They know that he deceived. Even the people who defend him were like, well, it was a tough situation because he had to do what he could to start that special counsel. It's like, no, there was no evidence to begin with. The evidence was linked to Clinton. That's my article that was shared by Rush Limbaugh and talked about by Rush Limbaugh for 2 days. The evidence was linked to Clinton. All the evidence was linked to Clinton. The Steele dossier was purchased by Clinton. Then you get on Twitter and people are like, oh, that thingy. Oh, the Clinton purchased the dossier thingy. It's like, they don't care. They actually think obstruction of justice is just like what Comey did. They're accusing William Barr of misrepresenting and lying about the Mueller report. The Mueller report is there for everyone to read. The Mueller report did not indict President Trump on anything, collusion or obstruction. In fact, they found no evidence of collusion or interference or being a foreign agent or anything like that, or campaign finance violations, nothing. They found no evidence. Then they say the evidence was not sufficient to try to make it morally relative to the Clinton email investigation when Comey has no clue how she transferred top secret and special access program intelligence onto her servers, doesn't care, top secret intel, doesn't care, and then says, well, there was no intent to deceive, even though she used servers for 4 years outside the U.S. government. Why would you use private servers to hide your information? This is not that difficult. This is not that difficult. And so it's like another thing is that these are his personal recollections. So I don't get that. I really don't get the fact that they're using his personal recollections. They use his personal recollections to begin a Mueller special counsel. And by the way, Mueller didn't even know who Fusion GPS and Glenn Simpson were. And this is so easy. Like, if William Barr, once William Barr indicts McCabe, then we can get the ball rolling on everyone else. Okay? He's looking at years and years in prison. He doesn't want to spend years and years in prison. Okay? He's not about to do that. Okay? He did his part in the attempted ousting of President Trump. He did his part. And he's not going to take the fall for everyone. He's not going to be the fall guy. So he'll spill the beans and he'll flip and sing and he'll, just like they said Papadopoulos would and everyone else would, nobody flipped on Trump. Michael Cohen lied. That's why none of the Mueller probes had nothing to do. So they had nothing to do with, no indictments were obtained from Michael Cohen's testimony. Every single thing they had against Trump, it didn't work. And the funny thing is that they keep on trying to paint Trump, to frame Trump, to even, what's his name? Lawrence O'Donnell had to apologize the other day. They can't touch him. But here, Comey could have been charged with personal documents, just like Clinton's emails were government property. If she had top secret and special access program intelligence alongside yoga emails, all of those emails are government property. And then they say, well, Trump Jr. met with Russia. Nobody was indicted. Where was the illegal activity? Nobody was indicted. And you don't think they would have tried to obtain Trump's emails? If he used a private server, he would never have gotten away with this. If Trump had private servers for years and years as Secretary of State or as president, he would never have gotten away with anything. Everyone in media would have been H.A. Goodman, or even better, far better, Tom Fitton, John Solomon. Everyone would have been a person who is, obsessed with this story. But if it were the reverse, with Clinton, they're like, it's not a big of a deal. And I'm telling you, people, there are millions upon millions of people on Twitter, just throughout the country, who are loyal Hillary voters, and they're going to come out of the woodwork and they're going to protect Madam Secretary, and they're going to say, you better vote for Madam Secretary to the left. Obviously, to you and to me, it would be like laughing. She's running again. McCabe's going to get indicted. Once all of this takes place, we'll see the full story. The full picture here is that Comey should have been charged, Clinton should have been charged, but then again, Comey covered Clinton's crimes. Clinton's allies are probably covering Comey within the Justice Department. Clinton's allies probably can't do anything for McCabe. McCabe, his wife is the curveball here. His wife receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars and him lying under oath, that's the big issue. Okay, you can't hide behind, well, these are my documents, I put them in my safe, da 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 da. Even though what James Comey did was a criminal act. There's a bigger fish to fry here. John Durham and William Barr could get Comey when it comes to McCabe. McCabe can actually say, hey, listen, you know what? It was Comey who told me to leak, who said I could leak, and he's lying under oath. And McCabe could then get Comey on a whole bunch of other things. Clinton email investigation, the fact that he stated under oath that he didn't write the letter exonerating Clinton, which didn't exonerate Clinton, but the letter that said, well, she didn't have intent until after she was interviewed. He never interviewed her. So lots of things can take place. In addition to McCabe can say, Loretta Lynch is right, Comey's wrong, which means that he would have lied under oath. Because Loretta Lynch is saying that she never told Comey to call it a matter. There's a lot of, and then there's the issue of why Comey signed off on the FISA warrant. And McCabe signed off on the FISA warrant numerous times. I think every FISA warrant. So, I mean, look. McCabe can go ahead and totally sink and submarine Comey's absurd claim that he wasn't trying to intimidate Trump when he showed Trump the dossier. That's hilarious. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. Comey could have been charged already, and he will be charged eventually. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you.